everyone, it's Rick Carson. We're at NAMM 2026, and I'm with my friend David Gnozzi, and we've got something so exciting to tell you about. What are we here talking about, David?
Yeah, we're talking about my first plugin with Metric Halo and Make Believe.
And it's not even your first. We have your first two plugins, because there's actually two things that you're involved in that we're bringing to the market.
Yes, exactly. We can call it at the beginning of a line. It's a joint venture. So the first module is my signature module.
Yep.
And it's a combination of tape emulation and transformers, good colors, and a very, very interesting stereo manipulation side of it. And the next module is my dear friend Howie Weinberg's NTP's 179's compressor, which is a big part of his signature sound. All those records in the 90s and early 2000s and everybody loves have that stamp on it.
Yes.
And we try to replicate it and put it in the...
Yeah, I mean, not only did we try, I think we did absolutely replicate it.
We absolutely did.
And not only did we do that, one thing that I love about this line that you're bringing to the market is not only are these your secrets that you've, dug through many, many pieces of gear to find, but you and Howie have baked these things down into bite-sized packages for people at home. It's not a full NTP 179. It's an NTP 179 that is designed to lead you towards decisions that Howie Weinberg would make.
Yes, exactly. So we didn't want to make this line too tweaky, and most important, we wanted to give access to small sets of sounds to maybe people that are not so experienced.
Yes.
And they still can get the benefits just by listening to it and not understanding numbers or the transfer curve of a compressor. So make these things accessible to everybody and give people the things that me and Howie actually use in our job every day.
And I think both of the plugins, lead you towards making decisions that you and Howie would make.
Yeah.
From the fact that Howie's, world famous setting is baked in and it turns gold, to the fact that your plugin has nice green meters for where you're trying to shoot for on your metering.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that they both really are designed to help engineers get the results they're trying to go after.
I believe so. And according to how everybody reacted to this presentation here, NAMM 2026, everybody loved them and consistently. And I think, you guys did an amazing job. We did an amazing job. I throw myself in.
Oh, you crushed it. Yeah, we couldn't have done this without you.
And I'm really happy to see this out and in the wild and hear what people think.
Yeah, and I just got to say, your drive to make things great is just incredible. When we showed up and we had pretty much half of this plugin done, guys. We had the transformer half and the tape saturation half, and we were getting ready to hand that over to you, and you said, I think if we did this, it would make it incredibly special. And now we have something that when you look at it, I don't think that people can say that they think that it started there and ended here. It is a tool that is in and of itself.
Yes, 100%. I think that we did, it turned out being a very, very cool combination of processing that you don't often see put together in a, like you said, very easy to use package, 5 knobs.
Yep.
That's all. And all you have to do is listen to it and leave it where you like it. That's it.
Well, David, I just got to say thank you so much for taking your time, attention, value, energy to try and make something great with us.
Thank you for being in it with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Hey everybody, it's Rick Carson. We're at NAMM 2026 and I'm sitting down with the incredible John Haynes. John, how's it going?
It's going great. First time here and I'm having a blast.
Yeah, so what's your big takeaway from NAMM?
All the people that I've met that know who I am, and I'm not certain who they are sometimes, and also all the old friends I've met. It's really great to meet and see people that I haven't seen in 20 years, and then also see the new people who are just appreciative of what I've done.
And it's so great to see, people like you and Jean-Marie reconnecting with each other and giving each other big hugs. The smiles on your guys' faces, I'll remember that for the rest of my life.
Jean-Marie is he's my first mentor.
Yep.
So when I went to start with Teddy Riley, he was there to kind of show us the way, and is just a really amazing guy, and just so happy to see him again.
So when was the last time that you got to see Jean-Marie?
Probably when he left Teddy in I don't know, 1993 or 94.
Amazing, man. So, it's just so incredible I've been watching you interact with people on the floor, and I can tell that they love talking to you. You know, I can tell that they're learning from you. I can tell that they love picking up your vibe. Finally being able to meet you in person after being able to interact with you online in gear space, I think is a big thing for a lot of people. And it's nice to see you just interacting with the community in a way that, you know, seems to be, you know, very natural to you. And I'm just curious, when you come out to a place like this, you know, besides the people and the things, what do you take away from this? You know, I believe that there's something intrinsic about the community, and I'm just curious, as someone who is, you know, really at the very high end of our community of music, in my opinion, when it comes to the work, how does it feel to come and connect with some of these people who just love what you do?
I mean, you know, I've been there. I've been the struggling engineer who's looking for his next job and worried that there won't be one. So I'm so lucky to be where I am, and I recognize that, and I just want to help anyone that I can. And that's why I went on Gear Space, just to give them some real advice and not something they need to, you know, buy or pay for or anything like that. Just this is the reality, and you know, I'm giving you my perspective. There may be other ones, but this is what I've been through over 30 plus years. You know, so I really enjoy sharing that and meeting the people and talking with them.
Yeah, that's great. And your Gear Space, you know, thread, I just have to say, is a masterclass. It could be pretty much a college education in of itself.
I appreciate it. It's something that's absolutely grown out of control a little bit, but I've enjoyed, you know, just talking with people and sharing. I'm in my studio in Virginia by myself, you know, most of the day, so I get on there and can, you know, just interact with some people every once in a while. It's nice.
No, it's great, and I check it, you know, almost every day to see if there's something new going on in there. Before I let you go, there's one thing that was, you know, pretty cool to go see you do, which was when you tell the people at home about your experience today at the Sony booth.
Oh yeah, so Sony has a product that they're working on or is out, I suppose, that it builds an HRTF by putting little tiny microphones in your ears and measuring your head response. And then they pair that with their headphones, their open back headphones. And you get the test done, and then they start playing back, and they have the speakers and they have the headphones, and you take the headphones off and you can't tell if the speakers are on or the headphones are on. It's really neat. And that was just a test run in their noisy booth, so when they come and do it for real in my studio, it's a room simulation that actually sounds like a room, you know, it sounds like speakers in headphones.
It's incredible. There's this moment where it transitions, you know, and it disappears on you, and you're just like, I don't know, I can't tell anymore.
Yeah,
it's a feeling.
It's great because I've never had a headphone experience that sounded like I was in any space other than headphones, but that did. So I'm happy to give that a try and maybe, you know, make me more mobile and able to do things not in the studio sometimes. So.
Hey, I'm very excited to hear it, and thank you so much for taking the time to come out here, hang out with us, and for sitting down and do this interview.
Oh, thank you so much for everything.
Absolutely. We will talk to you again very, very shortly.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, it's NAMM 2026, and I'm sitting down with one of the most talented mixers in the game right now, Daniel Malsch. How's it going, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. So please tell everybody, you're still mixing on an SSL, right?
Yes, I'm still mixing on a 1986 SSL 4K EG Plus.
Okay, and what color EQs you got in that guy?
Mostly black, and some orange and some brown, but mostly black.
Okay, and then you've had a chance to sit down probably more than anybody else in the world, more extensively, to use an Oracle.
Yes, I have, for a couple months.
A couple months.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the big thing that I'm concerned about, I already know the Oracle sounds great. You know, SSL's new products do sound great. They just sound different. And a lot of people get fucked up about, oh, well, it doesn't sound like a 4000. Well, neither does a 9000, you know, neither does a Duality. And an Oracle still doesn't sound like a 4000. But really what is important to me is that equalizer, man.
Of course.
And how does it feel comparing the one on your big console to the one in the new Oracle?
So I'll give you a little bit of a roundabout answer. So I mix always on the 4K, and I had a chance on the Ghost record to mix on a Duality. And I didn't think I was going to love it, because I'm used to the 4K the kind of aggressiveness, the kind of squishiness it gives you. You could just hit the master bus forever. So when I started mixing on the duality, I was clipping everything.
Yep.
It's like a K, kind of like a J or K. It's a little more of a dainty console. Yep. But once I got, the gain structuring right on the duality, I loved it.
Yeah, if you live below 0, you're great, right?
Loved it, yeah. And really open and airy, and the EQs are great. Now the Oracle is the duality plus. The top end is very, very open, and I'm not clipping the inputs as easily as I do on the duality. So a lot of headroom.
So I was going to ask, do you believe you have to keep that gain structure more in the line with the 9Ks, where you got to keep it around 0, or can you push it a little bit harder like your 4000?
I can push the Oracle harder. I couldn't push the duality harder.
Yeah, and I found that in the Origin. I found
right.
that the Origin, I was able to beat up the stereo bus a little bit harder than I could in the 9K.
Right, exactly, yeah. The Oracle, and there's something crazy about the Oracle. I still can't put my hand on it. It's the EQs, the high end on the EQs seem to go on forever.
Interesting.
And the top end of the console doesn't seem to crap out. Like on a 4K, you get to like 16K, it starts to, I don't know, kind of disappears a little bit. Oracle is a very open sounding console. And it has a Bus Plus built in.
Yes.
And I think that Bus Plus sounds better than the hardware Bus Plus.
And you use the Bus Plus on your actual console, right? Yeah. And here's something that I've always found interesting. So when you go and you grab 8K or 10K, wherever you like to live in the top end on your console, I've always felt like I've had to push a 9K a little bit harder than I have to push my 6K. Do you feel like the Oracle, you have to push a little bit harder in that EQ booster? Does it line up more with your console?
Yeah, you definitely have to push it harder. Also with the Oracle, it's kind of crazy. And like I said, I'm still trying to figure out what these EQs are doing. They have an E and a G switch. I usually am using mostly E, black EQs. On the Oracle, on the snare drum, I'm using the G. Because the G has this crazy bump in the low mids that I like to do on the snare drum. It's super aggressive and super thick. So they did something on the Oracle with the G EQ that I love in like the low mid range. I don't know what's going on. I can't get a clear answer. It's like some kind of voodoo. I don't know, but it's a great sounding console.
That's awesome, and I'm very interested because for me, the G has been the EQ that you try to avoid for the most part.
Yeah, I always avoid it.
Yeah, for you to say that you love it is very, very cool. And, one thing that you just brought up that I got to ask you about, how do you feel about the orange? The orange equalizers are things that you're not really talked about often.
So so the orange EQs for me is when my black EQs break. Yep. I have spare orange that I put in the last bucket. I don't love them. I'm not really sure what the orange are based on.
They're supposed to be they're a brown that's been modified to be more like a Pultec.
Right, that's exactly right. I don't love them. I don't really love brown either.
Yes.
Every time
I love the browns.
You love the brown.
Yes.
So I bought a couple Revival channel strips, and they have, I don't know if they have the brown and black, but they have black in, and I would imagine it's brown when it's out. Yes. I'm always going for the black. Is the brown softer?
So the brown is, in my opinion, it's spittier on the top end, like, a little bit more aggressive in the transient way, and then also I would say that it's pokier sounding, where the black is definitely a little bit rounder, a little bit classier. The brown, I definitely think they changed it because it was pokey, and that's why I love it on drums. So I have 6 browns at the far side of my desk, and then all the rest are black.
I gotta try more brown.
Yeah, but I actually just got, some oranges, that are in my...
Do you like them?
No, I haven't tried them.
Oh, you haven't even tried them?
They're the ones in the bathroom. That whole console was almost orange.
I mean, I love Pultecs, so
yeah.
You'd think I would like them.
Yeah, I'm excited to try them. I'm very curious, But we've been talking about SSL stuff. Let's talk about NAMM 2026. You've been out here for a day. What have you been most excited about?
I'm super excited about KSD monitors. Have you checked those out yet?
I saw them last year at AES.
Now, I'm terrible with model numbers, but I just bought a pair of KSD recently. I'll just tell you, when I was doing a single for Bowling for Soup, KSD had sent me a pair of these monitors. They're their near fields. I think they're A200. And I always hate monitors when they're sent to me. I've been using Atom monitors forever. I'm so used to them. I never like other monitors. Companies send them to me, and I was like, As soon as I put these KSTs on my meter bridge, I was like, holy, you know, it's like incredible monitors. No sub needed because I don't like subs. They go down super low and super high, but they don't sound processed at all. They don't. It's not like this processed DSP thing, even though there is DSP going on. But I'm super excited about those monitors. I'm looking at they have a bigger pair to a tower.
Are you able to feed them digital, or do they have to come in?
Feed them digital, yeah.
Okay, I like if there's a monitor that has P in it, that you can come in digital and not have to go through its conversions.
Yes. I will eventually feed them digital as soon as my tech hooks it up.
Well, Daniel, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us. And, for everybody at home, before I let you go, it seems like 2025 was just a banner year for your career. Working with Andy Wallace, the new Ghost record that came out, tell us a little bit, if you could wrap that up into, just a few sentences, how does that make you feel to just be on top, man?
Quite honestly, I wish it felt different. I love it. I mean, I love people liking the work that I do, but honestly, maybe it'll hit me at some point, but I just go in the studio every day and just work and just try to make the best records I can. I don't feel any different before I did the Ghost records or the Event 7 folder or anything like that. Still feel the same. I guess it's a good thing, hopefully. It hasn't hit me. Maybe it will someday, but I like that people like what I'm doing.
Hey, I'm happy that you're being recognized for the amazing work that you do.
I appreciate it. And you too.
Thank you so much.
I love all your plugins. I know, we don't want to talk about plugins, but I love your plugins that you're making and everything you guys are doing.
Thank you so much, and we really appreciate the support. Your posts about Mixed-Ed and DB Verb, they mean the world to us, and to wake up to see that stuff, it puts smiles on everybody's faces. They get shared around. Ryan will text me, I'll text it to BJ, and BJ will text it to Joe.
And the thing about it is I'm doing it because I love it. I'm not doing it because I'm like, this sounds awesome. And like my AJ, my engineer that works with me, is like, Dan, post about that. It sounds amazing,
No, thank you. It means the world to us. As a small company, things like that, really, really make our day.
Great. I appreciate. I'm glad you're happy because I love them.
Thank you.
All right.
You have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey everybody, it's Rick Carson. We're at NAMM 2026, and I'm with my good friend Vahagn. And I want to ask you, so far, this is the beginning of day 2. What have you loved that you've seen so far on the floor?
There are lots of new gear that I really like watching and discovering. But one of the main reasons to be here was to speak about comparison with different audio interfaces, comparing with Metric Halo, because I get lots of questions from people that they are asking, hey, what do you think about Metric Halo comparing to other companies? So one of the main goals was to have a meeting last night here as well. So
how'd that meeting go?
I want to make some really great projects with this.
Thank you. And how do you think Metric Halo interfaces compare?
So right now I'm comparing even based on ChatGPT. Last night I was doing some talking with them, with the ChatGPT, and I discovered that even it's world class, that everybody, I knew this, that it's mastering grade audio interface, but people start recognizing it like also as a hardware gear, one of the best ones in the industry, because we knew already that the channel strip is the number one and everybody is using. But the Metric Halo really goes crazy good in the audio interface, the converters level, the quality. So
amazing. And so, I know you recently just became a convert over to the hardware side within the past couple of years, but you've been a channel strip user for many, many years, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so tell us your favorite things about channel strip.
So channel strip, basically, as you know, I recorded already more than 10 years Eric Moore on drums,
Yep.
who I also recently started managing. Channel strip, without channel strip, I don't imagine the drum mixing. So it's playing big, important role in our drum mixing. And it's just, I don't know, what can I say? It's just number one. Always it's on our mix. Always.
Channel strip is number one. It's number one for me too, man. So before I let you go, a lot of people ask me this. What is your favorite compressor model in channel strip?
It's hard to say because depends from the genre and from what type of music we are creating. So sometimes, let's say last night we were mixing the drums, but the artist wanted like a bit not punchy kick. So we were like, okay, we're gonna use like different compressors. But if I say something is like the number one, then it's gonna confuse many people. So that's why I will say, depends from the genre. We are flexible to change the sound. It's very important for us to keep always happy with the artists, even though sometimes when they keep pushing, saying, hey, I would prefer this type of sound, but we are, as a music producer, I'm always there to say, hey, this is my advice, to keep following with this compression or like the sound that we are going to. But yeah, I would say whatever I have on my hands as an option, I always give comparison to make sure that it works with the sound and the genre that we work. So I will not say anything.
That's fine. For me, it's Mio Comp. I
It's the
hands
best, that's
down
it.
use Mio Comp like 9 times out of 10. Fast maybe every once in a while, but Mio Comp way more than the other ones.
Yeah,
Wrap this up here. I'm gonna go show them to you.
awesome.
Check this out.
Thanks, Ben.
Hey everyone, it's Rick Carson. We're at NAMM 2026 and I am with the nicest guy in pro audio. I'm gonna tell a story. At one point in my life, I bought an equalizer that I thought was Will Putney's Night Audio EQ 3D. And what ended up happening was that a guy named Charles Wall actually just stole my money from me. And he took like $3,500 from me and didn't even have the equalizer. He was sending me photos of Will Putney's stuff that I thought he had, but it was just Will Putney's stuff still. And there was a guy out there who felt so bad for me that he actually refunded me my money with his own money, and I didn't know that he didn't just go beat up Charles Wall and get my money back because he's a big dude. And so I thought he was an intimidating guy and went and intimidated my money back out of thin air, but really he is just the biggest sweetheart in the world and couldn't see that done to me. Currently, to this day, I still believe that I owe you $3,500 because you do not need to take that hit, and I will rectify that at some point in my life. It slips my mind from time to time, except for when I'm staring this giant cuddly bear in the face, but you know, just an absolute sweetheart of a human being. Did you get that from your mom?
I get that from my grandfather, actually. My mom helped a lot with that, but my grandfather was the biggest person in my life that gave me the ability to be kind to everybody and, you know, not be an asshole to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, you are an incredibly inspiring person in that regard, man.
Yeah, that was a very weird time in my life, too, when that all happened as well.
Yeah, and we can bleep his name, you know, we'll bleep it so, you know, that we aren't blowing out, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you came through for me in a situation where, for me, I couldn't afford that equalizer. And I didn't buy it because I was a Will Putney fan. I bought it because I was a Jerry Finn fan. You know?
Yeah, and that's why we all love that EQ to begin with, because that EQ rocks on everything.
It does, it does. And I eventually ended up getting, you know, I have an NTI EQ that I got and that I love very, very much. But yeah, it's been one of those things where it's not lost on me the kindness and compassion that you showed. And in this industry, I think that it's, you know, further and further, you know, and farther between to meet a great dude, you know, like yourself. So when I, you know, meet one, I go out of my way to tell you I love you every time I fucking see you, man.
Yeah, and I love you too, man. But, you know, you always have to look out for other people because, you know, we're all in this together. Like, we're all doing the same thing. And, like, if you're close to somebody who's ripping off a friend of yours, like, you can't let that stand.
No, you know, but you went above and beyond and you kept that. I mean, it took me, you know, what, probably a decade to learn that you actually paid for that out of your own pocket, you know? And I only learned that a couple years ago. So I do feel bad that I haven't given you that money back, but I've only known for like 2 years or 3 years. It hasn't been like a decade that I feel like I've owed you this money. So we're gonna get you taken care of. You come out to Omaha, get you your money, you know, and I just love you so much for the compassion that you showed me. And I know that if you went above and beyond to do that for me, that you have done it for other people.
Oh, absolutely. Like, so many people were affected by that whole situation. And like, it was more than just you that I ended up having to help out and pay back out of my own pocket. That money I didn't even have. I just made it happen just because, you know, I didn't want, you know, guilt by association, because that's not what I was about, and that pissed me off more than anything. But you know, I'm definitely in a better place now. And then, you know, you've already done stuff for me. You gave me a WoW thing, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'll give you so much more. I got 6 new plugins to give you today.
Well, I'm excited for it because I've already gotten the Angus.
Okay, fuck yeah. What do you think, by the way?
So, honestly, it's such a crazy plugin because you can do so little and it does so much. Like, it's got so much color and shape to it, and you don't have to do much with it to get what you want out of it. Like on guitars and drums, it just makes everything just bigger sounding, but also you can scoop things in a natural way that doesn't sound like shit.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm a very, very big fan. So are you, I mean, of course, it sounds great on electric guitar, but where else are you loving it?
So I've been liking it on kick and snare a lot, and then of course on vocals.
Yeah.
It sounds really good on vocals, especially stacked in with like a level lock or even like my Ross Robinson Pentron that I have.
Yep. Yeah, so, you know, you're a big fan of that Indigo ramp stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is right up your alley.
Yeah. Modded Marshalls and dual rectifiers became my life because of Indigo ramps.
Okay, so why is the Tremo Verb so cool?
It's really cool because it's actually more saturated than a regular Rev G is, but also it just has a better mid-range. It's not as harsh and sizzly sounding.
It's a totally, I mean, everybody doesn't know. Like, the Tremo Verb is hands down one of the best rectifiers.
It's literally the best version of the 2-channel rectifier out of all of them.
And you have blues mode, which, you know, blues mode is, in my opinion, that perfect middle ground between the negative feedback loss that you have in the standard fucking modern mode and the vintage raw, you know, mode. Like, it actually does that increased low end. It's not as big, you know, but it definitely.
And then it takes pedals extremely well when you put it through the blues channel.
Yep.
So you can shape that amp a lot by whatever you put through the front end of it.
Yeah, so for the people at home, you should definitely be checking out, you know, Tremo Verbs. You're missing out.
Yeah, any Tremo Verb, no matter if it's like an early like Rev F version or even if the Rev G versions, every single Tremo Verb version sounds amazing.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. So Phil, before I let you go, what's your favorite thing that you've seen so far at NAMM 2026?
So I'd say so far, the thing that I've loved the most is the new Chandler console. The new Chandler console looks insane. Like the fact that they thought about making every single line input able to be used with pedals and you can reamp with it.
Reamp.
It's fucking awesome. Like you basically can just sit there and just use your pedals for inserts, reamp out at any channel you want at any point you want to, and it's just super flexible.
You know, everybody's been asking why we're selling our APIs, and it's because we actually recently learned that Chandler is in Shell Rock, Iowa, 3 hours away from Make Believe, and we've become good friends with Wade, and that is what we're installing at the studio.
Well, that's a great friendship to have because Wade is amazing.
Wade's amazing.
And pretty much the TG2 itself as a mic preamp is one of the best sounding mic preamps
One of the
ever.
best. Yep.
Like,
Jerry Finn loved it.
yeah, I literally use it. Every single guitar tone anyone's heard for the last 10 years has been through a TG2.
Yep.
And if I can have a console full of those with a curve bender EQ on every channel, you know, that's magic.
Well, you could come over and use ours.
Okay, I'm gonna come over and use yours when you get it in.
Yeah, we'll have the console and a Tremo Verb sitting there waiting for you.
Perfect.
Awesome.
So we're gonna recreate some Sonic Ranch stuff, Indigo Ranch stuff.
Fuck yeah. Well, Phil, thank you so much for taking the time to sit.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me over.
Hey everyone, it's Rick Carson. We're at NAMM 2026, and I am with the wonderful Chris Gehringer from Sterling Sound. Chris, how has your NAMM experience been?
I love NAMM. It's a geek fest times 10, and everybody here has the passion for music, the passion for gear, and everybody's just like open for new stuff and exciting stuff. I love coming here. It's the best thing.
So last year we had the chance to introduce CG2 to the world. This year we're releasing CG backs, and people seem to be very, very excited. One of those guys that you ran into that loves CG2 was Grandmaster Flash. How was that?
I mean, Grandmaster Flash, you know, and the guy was like, he was loving CG2 and saying it's the best plugin he ever heard. It does stuff that was magical. Coming out of him, it was just so cool. I mean, I've known the guy for 40 years, and it's just amazing, you know, that he was so amped on it, and everybody in his camp, everybody here has been coming up to me saying, I love it, it sounds great, it does stuff I needed it to do, so great thing, man, you killed it.
No, you absolutely crushed it, and we thank you so much for putting, you know, all your faith in us to bring these tools into the world. And, you know, the response that we seem to get here on the floor is just incredibly exciting. And, you know, as we go into 2026, I want to know, what are you excited about?
I'm excited about what we're going to do in 2026. You know, new stuff, making more tools for mastering engineers that they can actually use, and not just another limiter or an EQ, things that really help mastering engineers get to that next level. And like that's the focus I want, and I know we're gonna make great shit.
Absolutely. And there's one other plugin that we've kept very, very under the wraps that you've had for a couple of years that I'm actually going to announce here that isn't for sale yet, and it's not going to be for sale for a minute, but it is on these computers for people to check out. But there's actually a CG Soundtech that's floating around.
I'm very excited about that. And it's been, the Soundtech is detented and you're stuck in those positions. And you can actually go in on the old one and dial in, but you can't just turn the knob till you hear it. You have to put in the numbers. And the new one, you can dial in exactly, and it is a game changer for Soundtech. It still has the exact Soundtech sound. I don't know how you guys did it, but it is just a game changer.
Well, I'm very excited for everybody else to get their hands on it, and just thank you so much for all of your time and really for everything that you do for us at Make Believe.
No, I thank you guys. You guys have given me the platform to be creative, and I really appreciate it.
Hey everyone, it's Rick Carson. We're at NAMM 2026, and I'm with my good friend Alex. Alex, how's it been going?
Good, man. It's always a wild time. I swore I wouldn't come back to NAMM after 2012, but I was here again last year, and it was like, this is pretty awesome. And then,
what is your favorite stuff here?
What is my favorite stuff here? I mean, clearly the Metric Halo stuff is some of my favorite stuff. Honestly, I just like seeing people, and I forget how important just seeing friends are, because we get so in our little worlds that just shooting the shit with someone you haven't seen in 7 years is the coolest thing ever. I ran into my buddy Drew Thornton, who does front of house for Teddy Swims and was with Billie Eilish for years. We roughed it out on a brutal tour together, and I just haven't seen him, and we hugged up and down at the meet and greet here, and hugged and jumped up and down like little kids. It was great, and
and that's awesome. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I made a joke about it 30 seconds ago, but really, all of the dudes is the best thing about this place.
It really, and it's funny. It was a circle of people that all kind of are working rock and metal, and we all kind of compete with each other, but are also very supportive.
Yeah.
And I'm this is what it's about for me. Of if someone calls and it's I need to borrow an amp, or I need to do this, how do I do this? I heard you did this thing on this, and it's just everyone making each other better. And it's that's, I think, is the most important part of this whole thing, more than the new shit, because everyone knows how to use all the stuff, and it's just the relationships.
It's the community, absolutely.
Yeah, and you're one of the top facilitators of all that.
I'm trying, and I really appreciate you saying that. Having you out here at our booth, coming to hang out with us is just huge. It's not taken lightly on me that people, Anaheim, for the most part, is a destination. Not you don't live here,
Right.
You've got to come out of your way to come down here and hang out with us. And while it's not as far as, let's say, for someone like me who came from Omaha, it's still not easy to get here. And people back home, they think people in LA, they're just going to hang out at NAMM. That's easy for them. But I mean, even if you want to go back and forth, it's 3 hours in a car just to come.
I was gonna joke, it probably took you less time on sitting on the plane. I had to run back Tuesday to get a mix out, and it was 3 hours going up, 3 hours coming down. So it's people are making a conscious effort to be here, and it's really awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, thank you so much for doing it. That said, you have had a banner year. 2025 seemed like one hell of a year for you. Not only did you do some amazing work in post-production and in television, but also you are still making some big-ass records, dude.
I've been very fortunate, yeah. I appreciate the kind word. You're a better salesman for me than myself.
I'll sell it. This guy is out here tracking some fucking drums, mixing some fucking records. It seems like you get in where you fit in, which I absolutely love. Some records you're starting, some records you're taking to across the finish line. It seems like on Bob's Burgers, I'm watching that from the outside. We haven't had a chance to talk about it, but from what I've seen over 2025, it seems like they put a lot more, production into your hands, and that you're in charge of a lot of these big musical numbers now.
It's a team effort. I can't say, there's 5 or 6 of us in the music department on that show that are just I can't do my job without them, and I'd like to think that I make their life a lot easier. But the intensity of the music is really ramped up in the last couple of seasons. There was an episode where we Pat Dacey, who's our music supervisor, music director, literally built out of PVC pipes an instrument, and we were doing calculations on like how to get what pitches based on the length and diameter of PVC pipe. And then they wrote a whole like chamber music number that we played with flip-flops. And they were like, how do we record this? I'm like, let's figure it out. We've got a day.
I remember talking to you about
It was a wild experience. And then like, we're gonna bring in brass sections. It's like, oh, we're gonna go to East West for 2 days to record a full Union symphony. Have you done that before? Yes, I've absolutely done that before. And it's just like, you just kind of figure it out. And I think that's...
So did you end up with a big space pair on the flip-flop xylophone?
I ended up using Beyer M103s.
In a space pair?
A space pair over the top.
Yeah, I remember talking to you about this.
And then we had 87s on the room, but
Yeah, it was the space pair that brought it home.
it was, I mean, I would go to war with M103s these days. Like,
Okay, let's talk about that. Buyers. Incredible microphones. Way slept on. Why do...
I don't know. I'm doing this almost 20 years now. You see things come in and out of favor just because of the internet. And my favorite kick mic is the Albini the gold one, the M390, which you can't find anywhere. No rental houses have them. I don't even think Blackbird has one. And maybe, I don't want to say that. I'll get an angry call from their head. Like, no, we have 7. There's like, okay.
You looked in the wrong kick drum mic drawer.
But I engineered or helped engineer a record for this producer, Sonny DePerry. We were out at Sonic Ranch, and he's like, M103s on guitars, just jamming in there. And I think those are some of the best guitars I've ever heard in a long time.
Interesting.
And it was just one mic, everything firing in the room, and it was like enough rejection, like big, it was great. And I was like, I don't know why they're not more popular.
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple Beyer mics that we've fallen in love with. The 88, which is small, and then we also have been using the crap out of the TG500.
Yeah.
The handheld ribbon microphone.
And are those like the staples up at Make Believe?
Yeah, I mean, we have 201s and we have a bunch of other Beyers. I actually have a 309, but for me, it's like, that 818 lives on that cabinet, and then that 500, that dude Jack that I record a lot, that's like, if I'm not using the Sony, I'm going to use that Beyer because I feel like it's a nice, cool textured.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, if I have one mic to do a guitar and it wasn't, it would be that one at this point. Yeah, I'd be like, let's just go. And if it's like more than an hour messing with a guitar sound and we've lost the sauce, just go. Let's just get the riff down.
Okay, well, you heard it here. He's giving away secrets. The 103. People want to know. There it is. We appreciate you so much for sitting down with us.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. I feel like I was talking to John Haynes yesterday. I was like, I'm good tapping on the door at great. Like, you're on the legend side, all the way on the other side of great. It was, so to even be, thank you. I'm honored and flattered. Thank you.
No, thank you. Hey, everybody. It's Rick Carson. We're at NAMM 2026, and I am with the fucking legendary Jean-Marie. Jean, you had a killer 2025. Tell everybody about it.
I was blessed. I can't complain. Having Leon Thomas's album of the year, but then having Coco Jones, bro. Coco Jones, that's another record. Do you know I could not vote in the R&B category. I couldn't do it.
Why?
Because both of the records I did is in there, so I said, fuck it, I'm not voting.
Dang, you couldn't vote against them.
Yeah, so I got to be liberal about that shit. Now for the album of the year, of course I voted.
Hey, I voted for it too. You just absolutely, absolutely crushed it. I see that your tag today says badass mixer, and you should be wearing that proudly going into 2026.
Shameless plug.
Well, while we're out here on the NAMM floor, what have you seen so far that's caught your eye?
You know what? To be honest with you, besides meeting our guy over there at MEC DSP, that white room, the fucking white room, that thing is sexy as hell.
I'm very excited for you to try it.
And what's that? What's the other thing you showed me? Oh, the compressor.
Howie's
is, I got another arsenal, and because I've been working on Macy Gray's record, I need a copy of that so I can put it on the new record.
I'll make sure that you get everything before you go home today.
Guys, it's great. It's great. That once again, Make Believe Studios really it came through. How the hell do you pull this shit off? That's what I want to know. Where do you come up with this shit? Oh, the other one too.
What?
Terrace.
Oh yeah, Terrace is plugging. I
Yeah.
think you're gonna like
See,
that
I can
vibe.
use that on the kick drum.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, kicks and snares. It makes snares go.
It's that little split. Yeah. So they got. Oh, Jerry, come in here, Jerry. This is Anderson Paak's engineer.
Oh shit! Grab a microphone.
This is Jair.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, baby? Here's the thing, guys. I'm nominated. This fucker won. What the fuck is wrong with this picture? Nominated, winner. Loser, winner.
Mare's the OG, man.
He went to Paul's studio.
Oh fuck yeah! You went to Paul? Yeah. Trap house.
Yeah. He went to the trap house, as they called it. Then he became He was the engineer. So he started as a intern doing shit, nothing, not a damn thing. Paul threw him in the room.
Fuck yeah.
I think you lasted as 2 weeks as an intern, and the rest of you were because
no.
yes, it was.
Well,
Don't give me that shit.
It was a lot of
this
trial
is
and error.
bullshit. This is what happened. These motherfuckers didn't have another engineer, so say, hey Jerry, you know how to cut? Yeah, Jair, do you know how to cut? Yeah, go in there. Trial by fire. And then he becomes Anderson Paak's engineer, and then he becomes a fucking Grammy winner. Let me say that again. Nominated, winner.
Well, I mean, that's good on you and Paul for recognizing talent and putting one on, right?
Yeah, no, Jair's
I had
been.
no choice.
Jair would come in and we would be tonesmithing together.
Yeah.
He would like listen to what I'm doing, and I respect what he is here. And that's the thing that we have to respond to as you being as an engineer and also developer. I'm more enamored about the things that I don't have versus the things that I do have, because some of the stuff that you're doing is very practical, and I really love it. Like the white room, y'all. You'll understand, especially as old heads, you'll understand that reverb. Trust me on that one. You're going to understand it, and I'm well worth it. I heard Johnny Hayes is here.
Yeah, he's floating around. I keep looking around to see if he's shown up yet because I want you to meet him. But
So I'm going to plug this. That meld. I'm sorry, right? I'm gonna tell you that meld is not on the Atmos mixes. It's on every goddamn mix that I'm doing.
hey,
That thing has been a lifesaver. Like you have no idea.
I'm happy to hear it. I use it in stereo as well, personally.
Why not? Dude, it's fucking there.
You can go between every track. It's like a killer app.
So we're doing the new Coco record, right? And I said, man, these horns got to come up together. What do we use? Use meld.
Yeah.
And it's like, what I love about the meld in the stereo field, you put it on across everything, right? Then you can pick and choose the groupings that you want. It is very intuitive. It's very significant to what you want to do in the song. And you're not a dick about it, like, oh, I got to scrutinize. No, one shot. That whole horn section can come right there. That bone section, because it's so deep, you can bring out the nuances just in that bone section, which is great within the entirety of the mix.
Yeah, and then when you're done, once you've raised it all up, you still have the ability to go to turn up one trombone if you want.
Exactly.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
The floating bus of meld is great.
I'm gonna have to come check you out.
Yeah. You don't know meld?
I know. I heard about it. I haven't got it yet. I got the whole suite, the whole Electric Halo suite, but I don't have the meld.
Here, let's go ahead. We're going to end this interview here. We appreciate you so much, John Marie. Let's go show your boys some plugins.
Let's go. Thanks, guys.
Hey everyone, it's Rick Carson. We're at NAMM 2026, and I'm sitting on my good friend Nick. You flew all the way from Australia to be here with us, right?
Yeah.
I heard through the grapevine, and by the grapevine, I mean I ate a bunch of these. You brought some cookies for people?
Yeah.
Holy.
This isn't even planned or staged.
No. I fucking knew about these cookies. Ooh. I feel touched right now. I feel so happy. These are amazing. So tell people about these because I didn't know anything about them.
Yeah, so what you're gonna do is when you're having your tea or your coffee, you bite the opposing corners and use it as a straw.
Oh, shit.
And I just got in an argument at the chord booth with the Brits about doing that to a cup of tea.
Dang, dude.
So,
Okay, well, are you sure that these are for me? I don't want to take cookies you have for...
I got half a suitcase full of them.
Okay, that's why I heard you brought 40 boxes of them.
36.
36.
I had to give the other 4 to TSA to get through security.
Fucking no shit. So there were 40.
No, there were 36. I'm just shit stirring.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, this rumor mill at NAMM, it spreads. It spreads like wildfire. And this is something that people are talking about, these Tim Tams. These are I've had one. They're amazing.
Whose box did you have it from?
Jade's.
Ah.
So it seemed like 2025 was a great year for you, Nick. You know, not only did you get to work on some incredible music, but your content was amazing, and it seemed like your channels were just growing exponentially, man.
Yeah, so 2025, I was just able to lock in more to, rather than being in the start and having to push the content game, the typical stereotypical tutorial, plug in, push, whatever. I just got to, the records I was working on, the clients who let me, I just got to share exactly what was going on in the studio, and it resonated super well.
Yep. And I love watching it, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And what about for you?
Hey, I mean, 2025 was a good year, but I'm hoping that 2026 is even better. And I'm excited to start it off with my friends here. You know, NAMM 2026 has been great for hanging out with all these awesome people. You know, is there anybody that you've been excited that you got to run into so far?
Man, everybody. I think like some highlights with Eric Racy. It was really good to meet him with his HG2 and actually see the man behind it. And also there's somebody super exciting that's happening here, but Mixbus TV. And he's so passionate about everything that's going on with you, so I'm not going to spill too much beans right now, but...
No, we can spill some beans because this is going to be coming out after this afternoon.
Ah, okay.
So, you know, what he's talking about is David's Tubus, which is a new plugin that we did with David Gnozzi, our friend over at Mixbus TV. And have you heard about this? Have you had a chance to try it?
No, he was showing me the GUI and just going, hey, this is coming out. He's really excited about it. He's really passionate about it. And the thing that makes me happy is like, it's not just him. You've brought together so many different engineers as a community to create for one another. And that's like, to me, I really appreciated what you did last year with the CG2, and then seeing it across so many other verticals with other engineers. It's very, it feels real. Like it's not just a grab.
Thank you. You know, I'm definitely not trying to grab at anything. Really what I'm trying to do is hopefully take some of these, you know, processes that have been maybe a little bit more elusive to people in the knowledge game and bring them to the forefront of stuff, you know? Like one of our plugins today is just a single reverb patch, but it's a very definitive reverb patch that was used on some big records. How many, you know, boxes would you have to scroll through endless lists of stuff to come up with the one reverb patch that happened to be used on this one song? Bringing that to the forefront is awesome. And I think for dudes who are in your line of work, mastering, because we started with the Soundtech, we've kind of ended up in this position where we're able to work with people like Sterling Sound and Howie Weinberg and David Gnozzi to bring you these tools that really work great across a mix, man.
Yeah, and I will say with the Soundtech, that was a good one because it's very sought after. It's very hard to access. Even if you have the money and the resources, it is hard to access.
Yep.
And so to make it accessible for everybody, like you didn't price it too bad. Like it was a fair exchange. So anybody at any tier could jump into it and start working with that sound. Like that's good. That's good. If it was double, triple the price, you'd go, oh, but it's spot on where it should be.
Thank you. And you know, for me, I'm very proud of the work that we've done with Burgess because Burgess gave us the parametric equalizer. His work with George back in the day was revolutionary. And for me to be able to help him, you know, not only what I would do, you know, continue to bring these equalizers into the world, but also to hopefully live a much more comfortable life in his older age. It's incredible, man. And I thank all of you guys at home for helping us do that.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome, been a pleasure.
Yeah. Well, you know, before I let you go, I just got to ask, if there's anything out there in the world that you'd love to see happen at NAMM 2027, what do you think it would be?
I think I want to see more developers, hardware makers, anybody in the audio game not be afraid to push the envelope and fail. I know that doesn't sound right because a lot of them, they're doing good stuff, but it's scary to try something new outside of the box because you don't know how people are going to react. And you don't want to lose money on it, of course, but really fucking twist the knife a little bit and try and be on that knife set, like that edge, if I could see more of that next year, I think everybody would love that. They'd really take to it.
I'm right there with you. Some true innovation, I think, would be absolutely amazing. And not to say that people aren't innovating around here, but there's a difference between taking an SSL bus compressor at 1176 and putting, a low pass filter on it versus coming up with a whole new, side chain technology.
Yeah, like props to Andrew from Natural.
Yeah.
Like he took me through the plugins and everything he did to get them to where they are. Credit,
and just such a nice guy.
Yeah, he's such a nice, but he had to put in that effort the same way you guys did when you did the Sontec the first time. That first step is the hardest.
Yeah.
And that's the big, ginormous leap.
No, I'm excited that you're here with us. I'm excited he's here with us. And, it's so far been a great NAMM 2026.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much. And everybody at home, you're missing out if you haven't had any tin cans.
Yeah.
Thank you.